Hi, my name is Patrick Green, and I want to share with you my philosophy of teaching physical education. I teach physical education because I believe it is one of the most important subjects in school. Yes, certain subjects are more academically based, but I do believe that being healthy, being fit, and enjoying life is more important because it's a daily part of every part of your life from the day you're born all the way to your last day here on Earth. And I believe that it's important to have a quality life more so than just living life um, just to get day to day. Um, I like to teach physical education because it is fun. I'm able to build relationships with students, and I also believe that teaching is a ministry-based job in which you're impacting students by um, creating relationships, sharing the gospel, and living out the way Jesus did in your everyday life. It gives you an opportunity and it basically almost an excuse to be around young students that are um, needing um, needing truth, needing to know the purpose of life and how to live successfully with a kingdom mind and not just an earthly success mind. Um, Currently, right now, I am a teacher at a middle school in Antioch, which is in Northern California. I am the department head of physical education. I am also the athletic director, and I teach regular PE classes to sixth through eighth graders. Um, I teach my physical education classes by focusing on the California state standards as the basis of what I teach. I also use national standards, which I actually think is easier to use than the California state standards. Um, I like to make sure that my classes are well-rounded, that my students are learning about how to be healthy, how to be fit, how to learn activities that they can transfer to real life, how to learn how to move their bodies in a safe manner, in an efficient manner, in a correct manner, to build physical literacy, in which they can use those skills for everyday life in their jobs, in the workplace, in recreational settings, and also almost in every situation, just to live. I also I like to use technology. I like to have my kids read. I like to have my kids write. And I want to make sure that I'm using all subjects of school, of academics in my classroom. The main portion of my class is fitness based, strength, cardio, flexibility, endurance. But I also like to use not just the health um, health components of fitness, but also the skilled components of fitness of agility, speed, power, accuracy, reaction time. Those are very, very key as well. I also like to make sure that my students learn all the skills to all the activities I'm using, whether it is individual sports, dual sports, team sports, whether that's invasion games, net games, target games, which are a ton of different sports activities. And I also like to make sure that my classes are game-like based. So if we're working on a skill, make sure it's a game-like so my students will be participating more, they'll be more active, and they won't be bored. So it's kind of like uh, hiding your vegetables in your kids' food. Um, so I'm hiding skills, standards, packing them into game-like situations. I also make sure that I hold my students highly accountable. I don't just want to expect the bare minimum, what the bare minimum of what the state says they need to hold, but I want to make sure that I am pushing them to their absolute limit and potential. Um, I like to make sure that each lesson is teachable, and I like to also make sure that each lesson has is impactful for life as well and meaningful. How am I effective as a teacher? I want to make sure that each of my lessons and everything that I teach is as objective as I can possible. I don't want to be subjective. That can lead to lots of arguments with students and parents and administration. So you want to be objective as possible. You want to have rubrics. You want to have grading systems um, that is transparent. You want to make sure that you are, again, I said, teaching those standards. And you want to make each day, you don't want to waste any day. You don't want to waste any time. You want to make sure that everything you do is meaningful to life, that you're teaching bell to bell. And I like to make sure that when I'm teaching, that I'm using the what, why, and how snapshot so my kids know what we're doing. They know why we're doing it and how we're doing it, which so they can see big picture and small picture at the same time. Lastly, what is kind of like personal statement? My dream is to leave a legacy wherever I teach, whether that is middle school, high school, community college, or university level. I want to make an impact on each person I come into contact with and make them better, and also hopefully I can become better as well. So it's kind of a dual, like iron sharpens iron. We think of Proverbs 27:17 there. Um, but I also want to make sure that um, what I'm teaching is not just a curriculum, it's not just content, but I want to make sure that my students know that I am giving them I'm giving them their best of me, and I'm expecting them to become the best version of themselves. Um, that they're pushing limits in a good way. They're trying to grow. They're trying to learn. They're trying to become the best version of themselves. I want to make sure that each student knows that I care about them, that I'm coaching them to become the best they can. I'm cheering them on for them to then hopefully impact the world and others as well. And thank you. And that is my post, and that's my philosophy of physical education. And good night.